Beginning in a comfortable seated position, whether that is sitting back on your heels or cross-legged, whatever helps you have a nice lengthened spine, opening up space for your lungs to expand as you breathe. You might like to start with your eyes closed or keeping them open but soft before you begin your practice. Just checking in with how you're landing here on the mat. You might like to check in with your breath, just noticing where it's moving, where it's breathing, the depth. Giving yourself this space and as much time as you need. And when you are ready, folding forward into a child's pose. So you might like to have the knees a little wider here, extending your arms out, noticing the broadening of your lower back or the lengthening of the muscles along your spine. Maybe your belly, soft as you breathe. And then you might choose to walk your hands over to the right, really extending towards the diagonal corner with that left hand into a side bending child's pose. You might notice the breath move into the side rib cage here. If you notice it at all, maybe it expands. And then taking your right hand, placing it in front of the left forearm as you flip the left palm to face up, lifting your hips, landing on the outside edge of your shoulder, coming into a twist here. So you might press the back of that bottom arm into the ground, into the earth to activate the stretch. You might press your right hand in to help you find a twist to whatever comfort levels for you. Noticing your breath here. Where is it traveling to? Where is it wanting to move to? And then placing your right hand onto the mat, breathe in, sweep your left arm up and open. And maybe exhale, come down into your child's pose once more. Noticing your breath. Noticing whatever is showing up for you in your body, if anything at all. Before coming over to the other side, so coming into your side bending child's as you walk your hands off to the left. Really extending your right arm this time so that you can open up through the right side of your body. Notice your breath, maybe the expansion of the side of your rib cage. And then flipping that right palm so it's facing up, placing your left hand above the right forearm and lifting your hips so you land on the outside edge of your shoulder gently. Maybe finding a twist, maybe pressing the back of that bottom arm into the earth to activate the stretch. It might feel a bit more comfortable to widen the knees here if you need to, so allow for that. And notice your breath. Pressing your left hand into the mat, breathe in, sweep your right arm up. Exhale, ground it down, finding child's pose just for a moment until you start to find a rolling child's pose. So lift from the back of your chest, scoop through your belly. Bring your weight to your hands in a low plank. And then maybe exhale, rock back to child's pose. Finding a bit of fluidity in the spine. Releasing a little bit of rigidity until eventually you tuck your feet, lifting up off your knees, lifting your hips into downward facing dog. You might pedal through your heels, bending one knee at a time until you find a still point. Feeling that decompression of your spine. On your next breath in, float your right leg into three-legged dog. And as you exhale, bend both knees so you soften a little. Breathe in, press back up with that right heel, lengthening. Exhale, bring the knee to meet the other one. And doing this a few times with your breath, keeping all 5 toes facing down. Strengthening and powering up the back body. Until you exhale, bend the knees, scoop through the belly, step the foot through to the front of the mat. Ground your left hand down and sweep your right arm forward and up into a twist. Checking that back hip doesn't sink. And then a bit of an air guitar move. As you exhale, circle back and down. Soften everything. Inhale, sweeping up, pressing into the ground, opening. Moving with your breath. Noticing this opening, strengthening, and energizing all happening at once. After your next breath in, bring both hands on the inside of that front foot, bend your back knee and walk yourself back to Skandasana at the back of the mat. So your right leg is extended, you can keep the foot flat or go a little deeper by turning the toes up towards the sky. You might then walk your arms out forward, lengthening the spine without shifting your weight of your hips too far forward with you. Let your arms be in a position that feels supportive for you. As you breathe, opening up through the inner thigh. Then spin on the balls of both feet. Come back into your twist. The right arm raised. Frame that front foot and lengthen it back to three-legged dog. With the option here, if your lower back feels okay, to come into a hip opener. Bending that right knee. The heel coming towards the opposite butt cheek. Till you square your hips. And step that same right foot forward into lizard pose on the outside of the right hand. Maybe take a little sway side to side to ease into it. You might like to tuck your back foot and lift up off the back knee and then lower it. Maybe doing that a few times to help energize into the pose, but also moving more gently into your depth. You might stay there, or you can come towards a little bit more of an open position by bending that back knee, reaching back with your right hand to catch the left foot. Letting it be a bit of a chest opener, so there's a twist happening through the rib cage. And when you're ready, bring your hands back down, tuck your back foot, lift up off the back knee. Breathe in, press back, three-legged dog. And then lower your foot back down next to the other one, downward facing dog. When you're ready, left leg extends. And then as you exhale, soften the knees, curl in a little. And breathe in, press back with the heel, all 5 toes facing down. Exhale, soften. Doing that a few times. Until on your next exhale, you scoop through the belly, step the foot all the way to the top of the mat. Keep your right hand grounded. Sweep your left arm up into your twisted lunge. Check that back hip doesn't sink. And then you can stay here or move into your air guitar motion. Exhale, soften everything. Arms circles down. And then forward and up as you breathe in, opening back up into your expression of the twisted lunge. Moving with your breath. There's no rush. As you exhale, bring your hands onto the inside of the front foot, bend the back knee, swing your feet around to face the long edge of the mat, Skandasana or Ninja Lunge at the back of the mat. Choosing that front foot position and choosing your version of support for your arms and for your torso. Maybe a little lengthen here, as long as it doesn't add any pressure or tension to your shoulders. Keeping your hips drawing back a little so that the weight stays along the line of your feet. Noticing your breath, And then when you're ready, spinning on the balls of both feet, come back into your twist, right hand grounded, left arm lifts. Frame the front foot. Breathe in, lift back, three-legged dog. Again with the option for your hip opener on this side. Your opposite shoulder will naturally lower here a little, but keep pressing your hands into the mat so that it doesn't sink too much into your shoulder. And as you exhale, square the hips. Bring that same left foot through to the outside edge of the hands this time. Maybe a little sway side to side. Here in lizard pose, you might lower the back knee and then lift it. Lower and lift a couple of times with your breath to help you, again, strengthen the back body, but also ease into the stretch. A little bit of dynamic movement here. Take into the depth that is right for you. You might stay in this position, or you can come into the bind, keeping your right hand ground, taking your left hand to catch the right foot if you catch it. You can use a strap here if you need to. Staying open through the chest, through the fronts of the shoulders. Checking your breath. And gently releasing, ground your hands, lift up off the back knee, lengthen back, three-legged dog, and then lowering down to downward facing dog. Taking a breath or two here. Then looking forward, you can pounce or walk your way into Malasana at the front of the mat. Feet wide, heels and toes out, hands ground, and you might just rock a little side to side, easing into the hips, stretching through the soles of each foot. Finding your central position for Malasana. You can lift the heels if you find you're curling in a little through the spine. Take your right arm, place it on the inside of the knee. So you let the shoulder drop in and breathe in, extend your left arm up. So you might stay here or come into a bind. So the top arm, the thumb faces down, and then you bend the elbow, wrap it behind you. The bottom arm, the thumb flips under, and you bend the elbow and catch it around your leg. Staying open through your chest. If this feels like a little too much or a little too constricting, ease it off a little. Making it work for your body, not the other way around. And gently release. You might rock a little side to side to ease any pressure you might feel in your hips or knees. Until you find center again. And prepare yourself for the second side. So the left arm extends on the inside of the left knee. Flipping the thumb under, bending the elbow, wrapping it around. The right arm lifts up, flipping the thumb under, wrapping it around your back into a bind. Noticing your breath, noticing if you're curling through your upper back or your lower back, to ease out of it until you can get length and openness in your spine and in the front of your chest. And again, if this feels too strong for your joints, ease out of it. Gently release, plant your hands, lift your hips, find Uttanasana here. Maybe a little walk out with the knees and the hips. And stepping back, downward facing dog. Staying here as long as it feels useful for you. And then you can lower your knees, rocking back to child's pose. You might bring your arms down alongside you. Resting here, allowing space, allowing yourself to breathe into this power up and opening practice that you have just completed. Maybe noticing where your breath is here. Maybe noticing whatever is showing up for you